This is as large as I can make it, though, so I'm sorry, Deb. My name is Frank Sanchez. Proud to be the principal here at the flagship school of South Orange Maplewood School District, the great, venerable Columbia High School. Um, and as principal, I want to say that I think we've been improving every year since we've been here, and it's been great to have a new partner in Dr. Jen Antone, our incredible director of guidance. She'll be leading tonight, along with our lead counselor, Miss Danielle Mooney Chavez. Um, Today, we're going to talk about a couple things. We're going to bring our team of supervisors in about an hour or so. Um, but before that, we're going to talk about the course selection process. I know it might seem crazy that we're doing this early, but this is what we do as a successful school. We start having students select their classes in January. And February, and then we start making the master schedule so that students know what they have by the time they leave school. And then we could start to make changes over the summer. And so we can begin with instruction on day one. That has been the vision since I've been here, and I'm glad to see that we're back to that. Um, the course selection process does start at this point in January. So we're going to look at our program of studies. Our new program of studies has been updated. And I really want to thank at this point the Board of Education and Mr. Bing, who's been a real partner with us in really just expanding what we see as a successful high school, right? I think we've been making years and years of since I've been here in making sure that as many students can have advanced placement classes as possible. And since now with our kind of a new partnership, we've been looking at, we've added dual enrollment 4 years ago. And since then, we've also looking this year with the pathways, a new theme, right? Is that students can really start to focus on um, topics of study and what we call career or college pathways. So that's what you're going to talk. What's what you're going to hear a lot about tonight. And I'm really proud of the expanded vision that we have here at Columbia High School. So, um, saying that, um, I guess Dr. Antone, if you want to start and share a little bit about what the great counseling department is up to right now.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Mr. Sanchez. I just want to once again thank everybody for coming, attending tonight. Couple of quick housekeeping items, if I may. A wonderful parent put in the chat that if you would like to make the it bigger, you can increase just by clicking on that plus sign, and that will help with accessibility. I also wanted to share I know there were two programs available tonight from the district. We apologize for the logjam, but both of these programs are going to be recorded. So if MTS is near and dear to your heart, you can still catch that in the recorded version. All right, so course selection, as Mr. Sanchez said, one of the main reasons that we want to move up the course selection process is very simply that we want to make the schedules as perfect as possible for our students, and that takes time and strategic planning, and that is exactly what we are doing. When we open our scheduling screen tomorrow. You received a communication from me today via school messenger with a one-page resource, as well as the link that will be live tomorrow for the preliminary program of studies for 26-27. Our grade 11 junior meetings are happening right now for our current class of 2028 and 2029. We will be doing push-ins throughout the month to make sure students if they have any questions on scheduling, and to make sure that they have complete course requests. Class of 2030, we will be visiting our middle schools in February 12th for Maplewood Middle School and the 17th for Psalms. Go ahead, Mr. Sanchez, if you can switch the slide. Sorry about that. Okay. All right. So just a couple of brief things. When middle school students traverse over to the high school side, we do have credits in addition to course grades. Of course, there are graduation requirements that are both from our district as well as the state. We have GPA. Each courses earn grades that factor into our GPA. Of course, there's prerequisites that are identified in that program of studies. But the most important thing we want to leave you with is that your students have the opportunity to really figure out personalized pathways. And that's what we're going to be talking about tonight. Okay, our credits, it's pretty straightforward. And the necessary credits to go from one grade to the next. I will share that we are working on a new bell schedule, as we talked about in a couple of other events this fall. And as you'll see when you open up the one-page resource, students will have the opportunity to schedule for 8 classes in the 26-27 school year. The credit requirements will not change, but they will actually be able to take 40 credits as opposed to the typical 35 that about 70 to 80% of our current students take. Mr. Sanchez, can you? Okay, thank you so much. I'm actually going to bump this up a little bit for myself. So these are just our requirements by subject area. These are featured at the beginning of the program of studies. If you have any questions whatsoever about these, please feel free to reach out to counseling. But students will, that's part of what a high school counseling office does, is to ensure that your students are reaching these, attaining these required classes and going beyond into whatever it is that they aspire to and their personal goals lead them to. All right. So a couple of good behaviors. We're always about growth mindset. How do we stretch for those challenging courses? Here are some things that we wanted to note. Predict success in honors and AP courses. And certainly, if as parents we partner with you, if there are any of these that you are saying, hey, I think my child needs a little bit more support on, we are here for you. We got you. And we want to make sure that we are helping students develop those. All right. Our classes come in 3 varieties, let's say, levels: academic, which is also known in other districts as college prep, our honors level, and our AP and advanced level. Okay. I think we'll take I may pause just to quickly review some of the pertinent questions in the chat. Um, how do students schedule one-to-one meetings with counselors about course selection? That's a great question. Yeah, so we are asking students to review what they can, what we'll be sharing out. The screen goes live tomorrow in Power School. Counselors will be meeting with students. They are going to go into classrooms to pull students into these one-to-one meetings where if students do not have their course requests, they will be able to set them at that time. If they do have their course requests, but they still have some questions, that would also be an additional time. And as always, students can come down to the counseling department, email counselors, or come down and ask for an appointment, and we will be happy to take care of that. Yes, in answer to your question, class of 2030, can begin scheduling tomorrow as well. Yes, you can put in your course requests. You do not have to wait until February 12th or to go ahead and do that. Okay. All right. Yeah, so good question about math. Algebra, if students do take algebra in 7th grade, geometry in 8th grade, they would proceed to algebra 2 in 9th grade and continue with the math pathway, which we will touch on a little bit later in the program. Class requests are not necessarily first come, first serve. That is correct. We want to make sure that all students have what it is that they need, what it is that they desire. We work hard to ensure that our sections reflect student needs. Kids can choose their classes as soon as they come into district. We have an existing process where we will be reaching out to families as they enroll if they miss this initial window. In other words, if they come March the 1st and this window has sort of happened, we will make sure that they also have access to.
Yes. And Dr. Antone, you could just keep going. I mean, I'll try to answer as many questions as
Certainly.
possible.
Thank you, Mr.
No,
Sanchez.
no
Appreciate it.
problem. And
Okay,
just so
sorry
you
about
know,
that.
no, no, no. Just so you know, like we have a lot of students who might be in high school already, siblings, but their kids go to Golda Ak or they go to some middle school. You
Certainly.
know, again, we're collecting all of the options now, but we'll start making the schedule March, April, and May. And luckily, we are a school of 2,000 students. I was just principal of a school with 700 children. It was much harder to make a schedule if you could imagine it,
I
because
can.
there's so many singletons and things to worry about. In a school like us, if your daughter, your son, your child is in a private school in 8th grade and coming to Columbia High School, do not worry. Even if we're not asking you for your choices until March or April, because we have so many options at the freshman level and opportunities. It will not affect in making the master schedule. So please don't worry about that. All right.
Okay, I'm going to pick up the speed, folks. All right, so we can keep moving here. English language arts. This is just an overview. We're going to talk a little bit more about English language arts as we get further into the program. These are the next several slides are overview over as to what the classes are that your students will be taking each and every grade. Okay. Mr. Sanchez, could we go to the next slide, sir? All right. In addition to our English classes that are, the overview, let's say, English 3, English 4, we also have some wonderful special topics for our English course selections. These are provided for you on this slide. You will get a copy of this slideshow. And they're taught by incredibly passionate, dedicated teachers. Okay. And then our math offerings, Ms. Parcio has come on a little bit early, which is wonderful, but this is essentially everybody needs to take Algebra 1, Geometry, and Algebra 2. Beyond that, of course, some of our students take Algebra 1 and Geometry in the middle school, but we have plenty of rigorous math offerings, as you can see from this slide. We also offer the unique opportunity to advance in the pathway during the summer, which is an excellent opportunity for students as well. Okay. Science. We have, a plethora of wonderful science offerings. Again, this is all detailed in the program of studies, but lots of options for students. Most of our students start right at biology for grade 9. And then really at that point, students can kind of personalize their pathway a little bit more in science. Okay. So for electives, we want to ensure that students put down their first choice, their second choice, and then alternates. And the reason for that is because we want to ensure that no matter what, students have what it is that they are interested in, and we use that data in case there is a reason that we cannot actually give students their first choice. As Mr. Sanchez says, though, we have, being in a larger school with many sections of courses allows us really to be able to meet 99% of these first choice electives. We have some semester offerings that pair together, and so that also increases the choices there. Okay, schedule changes, everybody's favorite topic. Briefly, we have our schedule change policy, which lays out a timeline for students. This is really about making sure that students are, well, number one, having creating their course requests in a thoughtful manner, what it is that's a good decision for them, what's realistic, and then furthermore, just supporting them so that they are not, you know, making too many changes where it becomes, a block to their learning. Our dual enrollment, we've added some wonderful dual enrollment options on. The column on the right is our Seton Hall traditional offerings that we've had for the last couple of years. This is actually not even the full list of classes, but these are some of our most popular offerings. However, the first two columns are some of our newer dual enrollment offerings. We offered forensic science this year for NJIT. At in the middle column, Essex County, I'm sorry, Rutgers University, our health science pathway, and Rider University, Tomorrow's Teachers. A lot of this is dependent upon also the memorandums of understanding that we're working out with the universities. So there's a little bit of flex here that in this slide, but we are moving towards finalizing all of these partnerships, and they'll be ready for 26, 27. Okay. Any students with IEPs, any students that are served by our ESL program, any 504 students, please know you can absolutely take advantage of this functionality where you are picking out your course requests in PowerSchool. Your child study team case manager and school counselor will also be in touch to make sure that the requests are exactly what it is that your child and you want out of that schedule and need. Okay. So, we have so many folks on tonight. We're representing grades 8 all the way up to 11. So just kind of in brief, you will get a copy of all of this. Some of the college requirements that we want you to be mindful of. Every college is different. All of the requirements are really college specific in many ways. We have some universally sound practices that we share out with students depending on what program of study they're interested in at the collegiate level, how highly selective their university is. But you do want to check specific admissions requirements, and that is something that counselors will cover in both the junior and senior meetings. Just a note that if we briefly showed you that the schedule change deadlines. If a senior who is applying to colleges does decide to drop a class after ed drop, there is a requirement that the college or university does need to be informed of the drop course. So that the slide is also covering that, because we send out transcripts at the very beginning of the year and then throughout the year as the college requests. Okay. All right, I am going to hand this off to my partner in crime. Just kidding, no crime necessary. Miss Mooney Chavez, and I am going to answer any of the questions that were directed to me in the chat. So just give me a few moments. Go ahead, Miss Mooney Chavez.
Well, thank you. And yes, there was a crime. I couldn't be a panelist, but thankfully my savior from IT helped me as usual.
Thank you for
Uh,
your
yes.
perseverance.
Um, Good evening, everybody. So I'm just going to quickly go through just some of the technical screens when checking, doing course selection starting tomorrow. So you will pick the classes, students will pick classes through their PowerSchool account. So that is logging into that main website there. If there is any issue logging into PowerSchool, whether on the student or parent side, the students will actually go to the library and somebody will be able to assist them. But I will put in the chat a parent assistance email that the parents can reach out to if they are experiencing issues. Okay, Mr. Sanchez, next slide, please. So once you go into PowerSchool, you're going to see a screen that looks like this. On the left-hand side, there will be a little option called class registrations. I know it's very small here. I tried to highlight it with the red arrow, and that's where you're going to go ahead and start choosing. I know there's been some questions in the chat, and the million-dollar question is, where can I find the program of studies? Tomorrow, it will be linked in the screen, so you can make an easy click to it, open it up, and kind of toggle back and forth and kind of look, review, and do your selection. And again, I stress this so much. The portal opens tomorrow, okay? It will be open through February 20th. It is not a first come, first serve. So it's not like everyone has to run and pick the classes because they're going to fill. That's not what this phase, it's not how it works. This is the system understanding how many requests of a certain course the system will have, okay? So just because you did your request tomorrow doesn't mean you're in a better place or an advantage of getting into AP Lang as opposed to the person who does it midnight on, February 19th, okay? That's not how that works. I just want to clarify that because I feel like it's very important to reinstate. Okay, you can go ahead and hit the next slide for me, Mr. Sanchez. Okay, so again, that's just really emphasizing that program of studies link that I said earlier. Next slide. Okay, at the top, and this might cause some confusion, there are some classes that, the students are just going to take. We don't even want to think about it. We know they're going to have a PE and health because it's required every year. We know they need an English every year also, but that has a little choice behind it. The lunches, though, that's also going to be built in. So there's some courses that your student will not even have to think about. So we have pre-slated that in that top option box. Okay, next slide. All right, so if you look to the side, all the subjects will be kind of like broken up by content area. So the first shaded box, mandatory classes, those are the ones done for you. The one underneath that would be English. The one underneath that is math. So if you look, there's a pencil all the way to the right. By clicking on the pencil, that actually enables you to make your selection. And when you see the red exclamation point, that is indicating that that is a required choice. That means your student has to make a choice in that area. Next slide, please. Okay, so once you click the pencil, the little pop-up box will come up, and these will be the choices made available. There are some, restrictions in terms of grade level, so not every English elective is available to every student. We give a lot more choices to our juniors and seniors, so if you are a rising ninth grader or rising 10th grader, you don't see something that you've heard about, I would just revert back to the program of studies just to see if maybe you're not seeing it because it's available to upperclassmen only. Next slide, please. Really important here, okay? We have so many courses at Columbia High School that sometimes it takes multiple screens to capture them all. So there is actually like a next toggle for some of these choices. So it's really important that you go through all of them so you can be completely, aware of everything that's available. And that is what this page is emphasizing. Okay, Mr. Sanchez, next slide, please. Okay, so once you have your screen open, you've seen all your choices, you've read the program of studies, you feel good about it, you'll just check one of those options, and then you'll hit OK in order to capture that option. Next slide, please. All right, and the way the system tells you that, hey, you did everything you're supposed to do for this category, you'll have a green check mark next to it. That's how we know that we did the right thing. And may I say, you may also change. It's okay to change your mind. You can actually change your mind as much as you want until February 20th. Whatever is in the system at February 20th, that is what the system will capture and move forward with. Okay. This is a very important note that, Dr. Antone mentioned earlier. We have so many options, but however, not everything always runs or fits the way we need it to. So sometimes classes may get bumped out. I'm sure you've heard this before. Very frustrating experience. Less frustrating though when we have an alternate in place. Okay, so if drawing was really popular this year and we're over capacity and it's randomly placed and your student got bumped out, if we have another alternate in place, it stops there from being a random hole or a random class there, and it cuts down on the back and forth communication. So this actually helps us out in the counseling department a great deal. Next slide. All right, and when you go to hit submit, you will see a red exclamation point at the end if there is something you forgot, which I love this feature because it will not allow you to, oh, I forgot to pick in English, right? So it will say, you needed a year of history, you didn't pick one, go back, all right? So that's kind of like a fail safe. Also, if you didn't pick enough credits, we wanna make sure, especially for our seniors, we actually have them overpick because we just want to make sure that nobody's skimping out on credit. We know that as the year goes, after they've been thoroughly audited by their counselors, if we need to shave off here and there, and everyone's on board with that, but we start off with them having a full schedule because again, we have for seniors, we have those the college lens that we're also working with when we're designing our schedule. Next slide. And this is the most important. There is a submit button in order for your choices to be captured. Many times, Miss Marie Chavez, I know I picked my classes, and nothing is there. And probably 99.9% of the time, it's because the student X out of the screen without hitting that submit button. Okay. All right, next slide. And then also there will be a screen to review your selections. Also very important. It's okay if you pick the wrong thing and you can review it and say, oh my goodness, I meant to put a push and I didn't pick a push. You can go in and change it, but I highly recommend this step in the course selection process. Next slide. Okay. So at this point, I know we had some questions in the chat that I will be able to move through as much as I can. We also have Dr. Antone, where you can put all your questions if you feel they were unanswered. And normally we run a transcript of the chat also and just kind of like send out a follow-up like FAQ and whatnot. Okay.
Yeah, I tried to answer as many questions as possible while clicking on slides, and so I apologize for the lack of proofreading.
Absolutely. So, Mr. Sanchez, could we take like 5 seconds though to go over any of like the big questions that were kind of coming up a couple of times, being that our supervisors are actually not logging on until 7. Well, some of our supervisors are here already, which is awesome.
Let's do it.
So there was a couple of questions about where to find the link. So I just want to make sure I sent out a school messenger today, an email that included the link for tonight and also a 1-page resource with those directions. So if you click on that first link, which is in I believe the second paragraph of that email, you will be able to go on to that resource that Danielle and I worked on, and there will be, when you go into Power School, there will be you will be able to access the program of studies starting tomorrow, though, not tonight. Does that help answer that question? Hopefully, Danielle, if is there anything else on that that you think would be helpful for our parents and guardians? Oh, Miss Mooney Chavez, you are muted.
Sorry about that. I did a click too fast. Yeah, no, that sounds good. I just wanted to address kind of one of the concerns, and this is, you know, $1 million question. How do we, you know, help guide our students whether to take academic or honors? This
Mm.
is definitely something the counselors do speak about. You want to think, you know, an honors, you know, we definitely encourage students to try it, a subject that you feel passionate about, but you know that you're willing to put that time and commitment. There will be, you know, more of a workload in terms of homework, and there's almost like this kind of independence that is really nurtured in an honors versus an academic. There's a little bit more like in academic, oh hey, don't forget we have a test on Friday, here's a study guide, where those little kind of cutesy warm things might not be in an honors class. So it's a little bit more of kind of, you know, an independence there. And especially with my upperclassmen, and especially with applying for colleges, everyone gets so AP thirsty, and that's great, but it also, like, balance is a real thing. So you know, if you are more STEM oriented, you don't necessarily have to go crazy and feel like you have to go AP in every area. I definitely seen successful students like focus on some of the AP STEM classes if that's their concentration, and maybe they take like an honors in an English or a history class, and that's fine. So we just want to, you know, we say be successful, you know, in our heads we kind of say be or better. So in a class where you feel like you can kind of be challenged but not, you know, be overwhelmed, because again, when we're getting, you know, we're not passing or getting D's or C's, you know, we're struggling, it's not helping anything. So I really also encourage students to talk with teachers that teach certain classes, their own teachers, about how, you know, I think those are all things that they can maybe do in a conference period to help make informed decisions.
I want to just
I'm
go ahead and
okay.
jump in. It appears that some folks did not get my email today. I'm not sure. I sent it to the entire enrollment for 8, 9, 10, and 11. But if you did not receive it, I greatly apologize, and we will look into that matter. But if you want to go ahead, you can literally email me. My email is on the current slide, or you can put I think probably it's best to send me an email, and I will get that email off to you lickety split so that you have everything that you need. And I greatly apologize for that. I'm not sure why. You may not
Are
have gotten
these
that.
are these ninth grade, maybe rising ninth grade parents, and we
Well, I
have
did
just
send it to our current eighth graders, so I'm
oh,
not
okay.
sure how that happened, but we will get that looked into with IT so it doesn't continue to happen, but we'll certainly get you that information right away. So just
Also,
go ahead
can
and
I,
send
I,
me an
I
email.
just want to talk about APs. There were several questions about AP, about how many classes to take. And if you're a rising ninth grade parent, I do this a lot and I talk about my own kids, but I have three daughters and two are in college. And believe you me, I'm very excited that my daughters don't have a 4-year college course load. They have 3 years because of the AP courses they were able to take in high school. But at the same time, I spent a lot of time dealing with they're not here, but right now, so they're in the house, but I don't want, I'll whisper this, anxious ridden daughters. And we did really try to balance, you know, an AP workload with that. So in other words, we didn't try to just jam as many AP classes as possible. I'm a stern believer in that we should not have AP courses or dual enrollment courses at freshman year. I'm sorry. It's just not appropriate. These are first year high school students and they shouldn't be taking college courses if we really believe or pretend to believe that we care about mental wellness. So that is something that we do, though, bring up sophomore year. But I want to say, for those who are eighth grade parents, the world history course that we have, it's called World History. It very much combines or looks like the AP World History. So we have about 100 or so ish, right? 120 kids from the freshman class who take it, and the vast majority of them get a 3. Now, again, we have 500 freshmen and only about 100 and something take it. So that's 20%, but they mostly pass it. They take the AP World History test without taking the AP World History class in ninth grade. In 10th grade, you have more options now to take AP classes. We have a brand new course we started last year called AP Seminar, which is an English class. Um, I, I said before in the chat, I don't consider AP US History 1 a real AP class. What I mean by that is that there isn't an AP test at the end of that year. Every other AP class has a test at the end. So it is a rigorous class. I'm not saying it's not a real class. I'm just saying it's not, it doesn't have a test. Um, so just so you know, when you're starting to think about AP course workloads, it's what I always try to tell my daughters is you could take, they're not STEM, they weren't STEM kids. And they took all the humanity AP classes they could, but they didn't even take honors math in high school, right? Like they just took 3 years of math, but they overloaded themselves in AP humanities and they excelled in that because that was their niche and where they did well. So I do think that's why we have great counselors. Those are the conversations you should have with your counselors starting in 10th, 11th, and 12th grade. And you could always ask the supervisors or teachers. But I just want to put that out there because there's a lot of questions about AP and dual enrollment. And I think that's not a question really for freshman students, right? It's starting when you want to think about 10th grade and 11th grade. So most of our AP classes and dual enrollment classes are in 11th and 12th grade. We have 2,000 students at the high school. I just saw a very quick question about that. Of those 2,000 students, 800 students take AP classes anywhere from 10th through 12th grade.
All right. And parents, rest assured, I am sending out anybody that sent me an email. You should have this communication very shortly. Okay. Well, let's go ahead and why don't we go ahead and start our career pathways program? And Frank, if you want to go ahead and start us off, because I am taking care of these emails.
Okay.
Hopefully, Mr. Mano, I believe, should be on.
Mr. Mano, you ready?
I am on. I got stuck in a massive car accident on the way home.
Oh, no.
So,
That's okay. You just want to go over the things, or you want me to do it for you? What do you want me to do, sir?
Frank, that'd be great if you could start it. I'm going to pull over. I'm so close to home, but I got delayed about an hour on the ride home for this accident.
Oh, no problem. I'm glad you're okay. Okay, let's talk about dance. So as you can see here, if your child is interested in dance, they could start right away in the dance pathway of Dance 1, Dance 2, and Special Dance. Special Dance Company, by the way, begins sophomore year. So sometimes this is an audition-based program, Special Dance Company. So a student might not want to need to take Dance 1 freshman year if they are a real dance student. They've taken dance outside, and if they just want to start, they could start their sophomore year right in special dance. But that's again for students who have spent years in a dance program. However, that's our dance pathway. Those are the classes that we offer in dance. Band, we have ninth grade concert band. We then from there we go to symphonic band. We do offer honors programming in band, so they could take wind ensemble as an honor program. In addition to that, if you're really interested, your child's really interested in band, we have lots of opportunities in the extracurricular world by offering students marching band in the fall and an incredible jazz ensemble during the winter. We also have, for those who are interested in the musical, a pit band. In addition, Mr. Mano would like to make sure parents understand that we have recommended additional courses like Intro to Music Theory or AP Music Theory. So, Introduction to Music Theory is a course for those students. If a student wants to take AP Music Theory, unless they are, really gifted in music, we always say you should take the Introduction to Music Theory first. Again, those teachers in the music department and the band department can really help a student understand where they should go in those two worlds. Um, Regarding strings pathway, we have the string orchestra, which is where students start, and then they can go to either Masterworks Chamber Orchestra, which is an honors course, and virtuosi strings as well. We are so proud of our music programming. Both Mr. Bauer and Mr. Van Beveren do an incredible job there. Music technology started about 5 or 6 years ago, and we have already increased it from just a music technology class to now Music Technology 2. And a brand new course we're starting next year is Advanced Music Technology Honors. Ms. Veit, I don't know if you know her, she does an incredible job with this. And we have two incredible clubs. It's a music production club and the industry music club that really have done an incredible job. They've already started this year a guitar concert. We did a kind of like tiny desk concert called Live at the Library a month ago. And of course, everyone is looking forward to Music Beat Fest, which is our high school version of Maple Woodstock. And what's really nice of this is that we're starting to with that one with Pro Tools certification. So some people have asked, what's with the music badge? It's a way to demonstrate to colleges. Again, I think schools really look for, a lot of kids sometimes take 11 clubs and 11 classes in all different fields, with the idea of we should be well-rounded. And what we've heard from college admissions, officers, and what our counselors have learned is that colleges really care about not a mile wide and an inch deep, but really a mile deep. They want the music student. They want the STEM student. They want the environmentalist, right? And so when we talk about a badge, what does that mean? It shows to colleges how much you care about that deep level of commitment. And then we have, of course, Mr. Diaz and the vocal music pathway, chorus. Then after that, students audition for either symphonic choir or canons vocum. I'm sorry, my Latin is not great there. And then they can move on to the next level, which is Excelsior singers. Let's see. And then we move to film and animation. Not a lot of many high schools offer this. Students can take film and animation 1 and then level 2. They could also do a portfolio development and specialization, which allows them to take a final cut certification. Now, again, for someone who's like, oh, I need to take one art class and I'm really going to be focusing on STEM or the humanities, that's fine. Film and animation is what you could take, or you could take dance, or you could take, band, or you could take orchestra. But if you really want to focus on over 3 years on a certain aspect of art, this is what the pathways mean, right? This is for a student who wants to take 3 to 4 years. Obviously, the state of New Jersey, I'm going to say obviously, but the state of New Jersey just says, you could take one level. That's all you need. You could take one class over 4 years. What we're starting to say is if you want to major in something, if you will, in AP, this is what you can kind of think about. Again, not mandatory, just optional. And the same thing with photography. Traditional photography is an incredible program we have at our high school. Very rarely do you see a high school with a dark room. And we definitely have that there. So, which is awesome. And then of course we have visual art, and visual art, you could take art 1, art 2, AP Studio Art. Now, AP Studio Art, right? We say AP Studio Art, but what does that mean? AP Studio Art could be 2D, it could be AP Studio Art drawing. We're looking even at, for some students who wanted to focus on 3D. In addition, you don't have to take AP, you don't have to take Art 1 or Art 2. You can take fibers or design or ceramics or drawing. These are all elective classes other than taking the Art 1 umbrella or the Art 2 umbrella. So again, a lot of options for visual art. We have, I think we have 14 teachers, right? 14 art teachers. So we have so many options in the art classes. And when you get this slide deck, you can click on every teacher made a video specifically on their program, which is incredible. So you can learn about dance. They're like 3-minute videos. And we didn't even talk about AP art history, right? I mean, there's so many things that we have here in the AP arts. Miss Dr. Antone, I know, and Mr. Mano will gladly answer as many questions as they possibly can, but it's my pleasure to introduce Nicole Monfasani, who is our health teacher, our health and PE supervisor. She's also in charge of that programming. So, Miss Monfasani, if you want to talk about this.
Sure. Can you hear me? Does that work? Okay, there we go.
Of course.
So this is kind of combined with a science pathway. So this is going to be through Rutgers, these course programs. The first course that any student has to take is going to be the dynamics of healthcare professions. They obviously wouldn't be able to take that until at least 10th grade, but that is going to have to be a course that would need to be taken first in this pathway. After that, luckily with Rutgers, we kind of have a little bit of leeway to where a student can choose to take different paths and take different exams. So they can, if they want to, take an anatomy honors class at the same time that they're taking a fundamentals of wellness class. So obviously the principles of scientific inquiry for honors and the fundamentals of wellness, those are going to be slated for 27-28, because if a student wants to take those new courses, they have to take the dynamics of healthcare first, because that's going to be the progression for Rutgers. The fundamentals of wellness is what's going to be specifically taught by a health teacher, and we are going to work that into our health curriculum to where it will be a semester class and it will count for a semester or 2 quarters worth of their health, and then obviously a PE course, since health, phys ed, and safety is actually all one set of credits. The students will take their exam with Rutgers, and they will have a certain score to pass with Rutgers. So it's not an AP College Board exam. It's actually Rutgers curriculum and Rutgers exam. And if they pass that exam, they will be given the credit through Rutgers. But they have to take 2 of the 3 courses in that middle column. They can choose, 2, or they can do all 3 if they want. But they would need to take 2 out of those courses so that they would have their 3 course pathways specific for health credits at Rutgers.
So I do want to say, Ms. Monfasani is here to represent PE and health. Just to remind you from the first part of the program, all students required by the state of New Jersey have to take 3 quarters of PE and 1 quarter of health. That is required by the state, or driver's ed, right? Sophomore year is driver's ed. So I just want to point that out. But for those students who are interested in kind of like a health science pathway, this is something you might want to consider, right? So I just want to make sure everybody understands that. But thank you so much, Ms. Monfasani.
You got it.
All right. We are now at the CHS 21st Century and Career Flowchart. So who's going to be talking about this today? Is that Dr. Antone or? Ms. Parcio, or am I doing it? Who's doing this bad boy?
Sorry to everyone who did not get this message. It came out as a successful broadcast. I've been trying to just send it, but I'm going to resend it. But I will talk about this wonderful pathway that we are introducing next year. Aviation 1, Aviation 2, which is slated for 27, 28, and Aviation 3. This pathway is truly for anybody interested in anything to do with aviation. We are going to be the recipients of a free curriculum from the AOPA You Can Fly program. And it's an exciting curriculum that we will be bringing to you. Aviation 1 is one of the classes that students are permitted to take or as a part of their grade 9 experience. And it will be for 21st within the 21st century department. And we're very, very excited about this class. Ms. Parso, did you want to add anything else?
No, yeah, that pretty
No?
much covered it. We're very excited for aviation.
Okay. For business pathways, we offer a plethora of business classes. So let me just start off by talking about graduation requirements, right? There's a 21st century graduation requirement. You have to take 1 year of AP of 21st century. So that could be aviation, that could be woodworking, that can be business, that can be computer science, so on and so forth. But you also need to take a semester of personal finance or entrepreneurship. So sometimes that gets muddy. What you can't do is use one class for both of them. Okay, so just keep that in mind. We're going to talk about the business pathway. For freshman students, they can take an online personal finance class. If they want to do that, God bless, they can do that. Starting sophomore year, all students can take a personal finance class. They can also take a brand new course we're starting this year called AP Business with Personal Finance. That will count as both a personal finance and or not and, just or a financial literacy course. If students are interested in the business pathway and they want to continue, well, we have lots and lots of options. We have capital markets and investments, global marketing, sports and entertainment marketing. Some of those courses, I believe, are dual enrollment. The program of studies will let you know which ones are. Business management and ethics, students can move to there. Junior and or senior year, business management and entrepreneurship, as well as introduction to accounting. So all of these are just options if you want to really focus on a business pathway. But I just want you to know, for freshmen, the only courses that are available would be the personal finance. And again, the specific program of studies will let you know. iBot is a class that is also offered for freshmen. It's a course, and any high school student, which is a class that looks into uh, um, you know, Microsoft Suite and other introductory platforms. And then, of course, we have AP Macroeconomics, and that's for seniors. Well, juniors we offer it too, but we never have enough supply. If I could, no pun intended. We definitely offer it to seniors first. In addition to that, we have a woodworking pathway. We started this year with beginner of woodworking. It's a very popular class, it looks like. Freshmen are able to take that course, and then we'll be actually adding new levels next year, right? We'll start to offer intermediate woodworking as a level 2, and then if students are really interested, the year after, we'll start advanced woodworking. But again, we'll be offering next year beginner woodworking for freshmen and intermediate woodworking for all students who have taken beginner woodworking. Uh, Ms. Parcio, sorry, you want to talk about the computer science pathways, please?
Sure. So we've had these computer science courses for quite a while, but now we're actually making them into a 3-course sequence for you. The first course that you would take would be a roadmap to computing course. This is a very basic computing course. It's for somebody who's really never worked with coding. If a student is just interested in getting started with it, this would be the perfect course for them. It's an introductory course. After that, they would take AP Principles of Computer Science or AP Computer Science A. It really depends on what level of computer skills they've either obtained through Roadmap to Computing or have come in with. If you have a kid who's already taking computer coding courses and is really into computer science already, maybe it's just a passion of theirs. Really, what I would have them do is come talk to me, and I can give them kind of the overview of what the course would entail, and then they can talk to the teacher. If the teacher looks through their skills and says, you know what, they don't need roadmap to computing, it is something that they can skip. Then we have 2 new AP courses, AP Cybersecurity and AP Networking. Last year, we piloted as one of the career Kickstarters, AP Networking. It's a great success. We're looking for a lot more kids to get interested in this. And then the next course after that would be AP Cybersecurity. So again, these are some great AP computer science offerings that we have and that we've worked into a pathway for you. You're muted, Frank. Frank, you're muted.
Sorry, I do want to stress, thank you, that AP Computer Science Principles and AP Computer Science A are kind of like one or the other. It's kind of like AP Physics 1 and AP Physics 2 and AP Physics C. You don't kind of you don't do one and then the other. So it's either one or the other. All right, why don't we go to the next class, TV production. Students can take TV production 1. And again, as Ms. Parcio said, like you could always talk to the supervisor and the teacher to see if that is needed before moving to TV production 2. But from nearly all of our students go from TV production 1 to then either TV production 2 or digital cinematography. And then there's options in taking the CHS News 1 and 2 in the AM. So again, the state of New Jersey just requires 1 year of 21st century skills, and that's it. But we have some students who love, these niche courses, and they'll take TV production for 4 years. So we're just trying to show you what the pathway can be if you really want to focus on this and move forward through college and career. So just bringing that up. Okay. CHS Social Studies Flowchart, and we have the distinguished Mr. Christopher Preston talking about that today.
Wow, quite the lead up. Okay,
yes.
Thank you.
I felt like Springsteen, going into like
jeez, tough,
Mighty
tough.
Max Weinberg. I'm sorry.
It's
All
like
right.
following
Sorry,
Springsteen when you're a rookie. Okay. So the first 2 courses on the left-hand side, World History 2 and U.S. History 1 and 2, are required by the state of New Jersey. Once students complete those 3 courses through their junior year, they have completed their social studies requirement. And then what you see in the right 2 columns, starting in the center, we've created a government pathways that would run beginning in grade 11 and 12, AP US Government and Politics, and also AP Government and Politics Comparative. Now, that's not a required sequence. All of the courses in the right 2 columns can be taken by students their junior, senior year in any particular order, but we have created that government pathways for you. One change that we are offering for next year deals with the course AP African American Studies, which we will be offering beginning in grades 10 and 11. So that course will run commensurate with US History 1 and 2. And so those courses, AP African American Studies and Human Behavior and AP Psychology, are a nice complement to the government pathway that we have for you. And so we'll be doing some work over the course of the summer to do some integrated thematic work, focusing on human behavior, societies, and social behavior and human development across time and space as well. And then these other courses here that buttress the government pathway: race, genocide, and the Holocaust, sociology, and AP European history. We will also be looking at ways to thematically weave psychology, sociology, human behavior within that to complement the government pathways as well. Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you, Mr. Preston. And now I have all the way from Barcelona, Dr. Ramon Robles.
Actually, Mr. Sanchez, I believe I will be standing in for Dr. Robles. I will do my best to honor him in this, but go ahead and go to the next slide, please.
Sin problema.
Okay. Okay, so our world language pathway, this is essentially what I think most parents already know as far as our course offerings. We wanted to note that some of these levels, Chinese 4, honors, Chinese 4 academic, AP Chinese, Chinese 5 will be dependent upon student interest and enrollment. But please note that students that have completed our middle school world language classes can absolutely select Spanish 2 or Chinese 2 as a 9th grader. And if you have any questions whatsoever about advanced placement into something beyond that, Dr. Robles is happy for you to email him directly, and he will speak with you on that. Quick question in the chat: do colleges prefer to see 3 years of a world language, or will 2 years be sufficient? Yeah, so this is going to really depend upon the colleges that your son or daughter is applying to, the level of selectivity, and the program of studies, the major, the intended major. Selective colleges generally do like to see the 3 years of a world language. Absolutely.
Dr. Antone, can I skip in here, jump in?
Please.
So this is where I kind of get on my soapbox here and there. Like, if your child is at the middle school level and has been over the last, and that's why, by the way, you only see Mandarin and Spanish here, right? Because we also offer French, but that's not something we offer in the middle school. So this first slide is just based on what we offer from the middle school. Let me just say, if your child is successful with an A or a B in a world language like Spanish or Chinese or Mandarin, they need to go to level 2. That's what that's what I'm saying. The high school requirement to graduate is 1 year, but again, I would say you do that. Now, I didn't talk about this with math, and I don't know if Ms. Parcio agrees with me, but here's where, if your child is getting a C or something in geometry, they don't in 8th grade, they don't need to take algebra 2 in 9th grade. They could take geometry again, because they need 3 years of a math. So let's think about that. They need to take 3 years of a math. If they take geometry again, that's great. They could take geometry. They can go and really focus on algebra 2. They can then take the 3rd year of pre-calculus and still take calculus if they want in their 4th year. Or if they want to take AP Calc, or if they, I'm sorry.
Can I speak
AP,
to this, Mr. Sanchez?
Yeah, hold on. Let me just say one thing. They can take AP Stats their senior year. They can take another stats course. You don't need to. I think sometimes we have so many students who push forward their freshman year, and they're taking algebra 2, and they end up dropping down to like algebra 2 college prep as a freshman, and that doesn't. I don't think it bodes well for them as opposed to a world language. Go ahead.
So I just wanted to speak to the math advancement. Again, if you're seeing your students' IXL scores, and those IXL scores are showing some severe deficits, and again, your counselors and or your math teachers in the middle school should be sharing that information with you. they can take Algebra 1 again at ninth grade, and there's still a path to calculus that way. So if it's important to you that, you know what, they were advanced, we really push them through those middle school classes, but they're really showing the deficit in their math skills, taking Algebra 1 again in ninth grade, we can double up maths as we go. We can do a couple of different things. So there are students last year who requested it to take Algebra 1 again based on their math skills that they had. And we definitely can make accommodations for that. We're also this year offering Algebra 1 as both an honors level course and a college prep course. So we'll have the regular level of Algebra 1 that we've always had, but we also have honors Algebra 1. So that might be something that you would be interested in taking, especially if you're retaking the course and had already taken it at the middle school level, but don't necessarily see those skills being built. It's better to take that foundational course again with us in ninth grade. So I just wanted to add that.
Thank you. All right, so we are now going to, the seal of biliteracy pathway is basically what we say is if your child does take an AP course, then they can get and it's like a badge. It's a way of promoting to colleges that they are at the intermediate level of a world language, and that's by passing an AP course. So those are for juniors who are in AP Spanish language or AP um, uh, Mandarin or AP French. So that's what that is. They score a 4 or a 5. So that's the finality of a world language. So Dr. Antone, you want to take it away?
I was hoping to add a few things and clarify some things I'm seeing in the chat,
Oh, I'm
if I
sorry,
could.
exactly. Our
Um,
English
so
supervisor, how
just
are you?
We're doing well, doing well. Thank you so much. I wanted to point out pathways, and that specific phrase is a 3-course progression for Columbia High School. And you didn't see a pathway for French, but that doesn't mean that French isn't offered. And so that was clarified in the chat, but it keeps coming up as a question. And I just want to point that out. I love French. I studied French. I had credit leaving high school through a dual enrollment program. And so French is available. Don't worry. It's just that certain sections of things have a 3-course progression that we're highlighting in this presentation tonight. And along with that, I have dual enrollment courses in the English department,
Yes.
but they're not a 3-course progression. And so please know there are wonderful dual enrollment opportunities for our students in addition to the AP fair that we had earlier in December. And so one great highlight that I have as an update since our previous meeting is that Shakespeare class through Seton Hall will be dual enrollment next year.
Ooh.
And the chair of the English department at Seton Hall is a Shakespearean scholar, and there might be even opportunities for that person to come to speak to our students in the class at Columbia. So we're working on lots of great things with that. And there isn't a 3-course progression for English and some of our other sections, but there are still dual enrollment courses where it's just one particular course. And I don't think we highlighted our future teacher class, did we, Dr. Antone?
Not yet, Miss Ackley, but go for it.
So there might be students, particularly like junior year, that already know, I really want to be an educator. This is where I want to focus my efforts, and they could sign up for, it's a teaching course through, it is in TCNJ, right? That's providing that, Dr. Antone?
No, it is Rider University that is
Rider.
providing the course,
Rider.
and we hope to build out 2 more courses for it to become a career pathway. Because we really, your children are the future of our beloved profession, and we hope that they will consider becoming educators, which, you know, of course I'm biased, but one of the most noble professions out there, and highly rewarding. So this is a first step, a first foray into the wonderful space of education. The class is taken at Rider University, and it will be on the Rider transcript fully as their class, and a wonderful opportunity even if your students do not plan to matriculate to Rider.
So
So
tomorrow's teachers would really help. It would be in lieu of an introduction to teaching and really help anyone who's planning on becoming an educator. So we're excited for that next year. Along with that, our African American literature course, you'll see dual enrollment. And we have, like I said, Shakespeare will be dual enrollment next year. We have a gender studies course that is dual enrollment. And these single classes are not yet a pathway, because it isn't a 3-course progression. But please note those great opportunities in the program of studies as you're reviewing the options with your scholar. Thank you.
thank you, Ms. Ackley. So great to hear from our English language arts supervisor. Can everybody see the program of studies right here, right now, or no?
Looks great, Frank.
Okay, just want to make sure, just so parents understand or know, when they look at the program of studies tomorrow, there is basically a grade level control sheet. So what courses are specifically offered to each of the grade levels, right? We have the program of studies link right here. In addition to that, we have a PDF that we just talked about before on how to select courses, right? We will put tonight's video here, and slide deck. You also will receive, I feel like we're selling something like on QVC. You will also receive an AP and dual enrollment parent night, slide deck, and AP list of classes. Some freshman parents may not know what AP Seminar is. It's a pretty new course. So we have a description and a video testimonial from a student. And so all of this is there, plus all of the emails specifically of the supervisors who spoke tonight. So you can contact them, as well as the guidance counselors. And then it really goes to, what was I going to say? I'm sorry, I'm just skipping ahead. To each of these, there's charts of what is 21st century. There
Yeah.
are charts of and a table of what is financial literacy. And then even it goes specifically, excuse me, oh my gosh, here we go, to actual departments: visual performing arts, world language. And each of these classes that we kind of just ticked off today, right? Because it's been over an hour, but we just said, hey, we have AP art history. That's all I said. Well, here is the actual description of it and what you need. So all of this is available. And I just wanted to add that and to let everyone know this is what you're going to be receiving. And we are in a really great place timing wise. We thank Dr. Antone and the counseling department and our supervisors to get this ready a couple of weeks earlier than we used to, so that we are ready for the process.
And Mr. Sanchez, if I can just allay a few fears and anxieties that have
Sure,
been
please.
brought to the forefront. Parents and guardians, families, students, please know that this opening up the screen for in Power School for students and parents to begin to add course requests is an option that we have used over the last several years, but certainly we will follow up with those individualized conversations. Number one, not every student is going to complete that screen in a way that is thorough or complete. And number two, students do need to talk through what it is that they've selected and what it means and what does this mean for the following year. So we will absolutely make space for those individual conversations. We want to open this up for the next 6 weeks or so for students to be able to look through those course requests, the program of studies, and we will remain responsive to all questions that are emailed. At any time, you can reach out to your child's respective counselor or myself. Another question that has come up is when folks will receive a little bit more information about our projected new bell schedule for 26-27. Trust and believe we are just as excited as you are about this. We are still working through our CHS scheduling committee. In fact, we had a wonderful spirited meeting today about refining the perfect options for our students and what will serve our students best. So information is forthcoming. I'm so sorry that we were not able to get that out quite yet, but we are still working on those final details. Okay. Yes. So Danielle just put into the chat, which is a great, I'm sorry, for some reason, everything is coming under my name. So I apologize for that. Not everything is directly for me, but Danielle is providing amazing guidance. So yes, we are not necessarily doing individual appointments as the first line of defense, so to speak. All counselors will be coming to classes. We are actually in the throes of our junior meetings. So this is the perfect time for students to take a look at the course requests, take a look at our new program of studies. They have some time to reflect, talk to family, and then we will absolutely be following up in February on mostly in February. We have a little, we do have some time allotted in January, if I'm not mistaken, Danielle, and we will go through and visit classrooms. Middle school, we will be there in February, and students can, even 8th graders right now can start looking at those course requests, but we will absolutely have one-on-one meetings with everyone. We're just going into the classes to pull those students because it's less transition time down to the office and things like that. Okay. And I see some parents are saying good because we want to make sure that all questions are answered. And if at any time your child comes home and they say, I don't know, I don't know the answer to this, well, that's okay. We have an anecdote for that. Please send me an email and I will get you that answer because we want to make sure everybody has complete information.
Yeah, or you could just call Danielle Moni Chavez at 973-24. No, I'm just kidding.
Once again, I am so sorry for the hiccup in the email blast today, but it appears from your kind emails to me over the course of the last 20 minutes that you did get it from the second attempt. So thank you for that. And at any time, please do not hesitate to reach out to myself or Danielle, and we will absolutely respond back. Would you mind emailing me the program of study? I've not received. Great question. So again, the program of study is linked in that one-page resource. So if you click on the broadcast that I just resent.
Even tonight? They get it tonight? They get it before tomorrow?
Well, Mr. Sanchez, if they if they get the link that I put into the chat, because our parents were very eager for the preliminary program of studies.
You want to break the rules? I'm okay with it.
I'm sorry, Mr. Sanchez. The parents were asking.
You can't hold Soma back.
We can't. The enthusiasm is too great. So the link is in the chat, but I do want to say, folks, that we did go ahead and email it. Okay, we emailed it in that blast. If you go on to the Power School one-page resource, click on that link. When you get into Power School, it will be on there. Okay.
Can you send me the link to Dr. Antone, because then I will. Not of that one pager, because then I'll put it for students tomorrow as well in the Canvas announcements.
In other words, you want me to send you the link? Is that what you said?
Yeah, so I could put it because I have to do the Canvas announcements.
Word
of the day.
That
does not stop. Just so you know.
And there was another question about adjusting the school start time, not the school start time, just the way that we have our current schedule. We are looking at an exciting new option where students have a unit lunch and an AM wheel, a PM wheel. We will start and end at exactly the same time, rest assured, but it is what we would call a rotating drop block schedule, which will allow for less transition, less daily homework, less of a, oh, I'm seeing 7 different teachers, I'm seeing 8 different teachers per day, and we're bringing that number down to 6. So that is the schedule that we are looking at, and we are working through the CHS scheduling committee, which encompasses teachers as well. Okay, the link
Right.
says too many requests. Okay, we will work on that. Danielle, are you seeing this in the chat? I think they mean the grade level.
Okay.
Is there a way to look at those permissions for everyone?
Because we probably had it for starting tomorrow. So that's just something we could, it'll be good for tomorrow.
Okay. All right, perfect.
All right, everybody. I want to thank everybody. I know we're a little over, but it's 7:40. Parents, you guys have been remarkable hanging out with us for over an hour on a Tuesday evening. We want to thank everybody. I want to thank our incredible team here, district office people, our supervisors, as well as our building people. It is a pleasure to work at Columbia High School. And I will say, every time I talk to someone who's like new, as Dr. Antone she's always like, I can't believe our kids are so good and so talented. And we're lucky that they're mentored by our great faculty, and we're part of this district. So thank you, everyone, and have a great time. Great evening.
Folks, if anybody is out of district and you did not get the email blast, because I am getting a couple of emails, please rest assured I will absolutely email it to you. Okay? Do not fret. I will email it to you tonight. Okay? Thank